What is going on, everybody? Welcome to High School Never Ends Pop Punk Dad Podcast. I'm Wingman Steve.
And I'm Chris183, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Forgotten Favorites February. I know I'm going to screw that up eventually, Steve. Too many Fs.
You did great.
Too many Fs, but it is Forgotten Favorites February. We're moving right along here. And, this month we're basically talking about all of Punkish Dad's favorite things. That's right. He won the Jeopardy Tournament of Champions. He got to pick all of the things that we are talking about in February, and this one is something else. I'll tell you that much. It definitely is a favorite of Punkish Dad's, and the question is, will it be a favorite of ours too? I guess we will see. But before we get to any of that, I do want to introduce our guests. So we brought in a new voice to the show today, maybe not new to some of you guys out there, but from Gear 182, we have Stefan. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys, for having me. This is awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah, first time here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I run with Brian and Sully a page called Gear 182, where we kind of go over everything gear related in the pop punk rock, alternative rock kind of community. Started more out in the Gear 182 space, and now we're kind of just branching off and having fun with it. So it's cool. Got to meet some pretty amazing people and learned a ton about gear that I never thought I would even remotely care about. But it's been an amazing time so far. So.
Well, we're going to lean on you when we talk about all the musical stuff, because Chris and I are not musicians. I see you got a really cool Blink Smiley guitar back there. That looks pretty, actually, it looks like there's two of them. That is pretty sick. And actually, Chris, Sully from Gear 182, we played one of his songs before during one of our listening party episodes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we have. So we're friends of Gear 182 already.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Don't fault me, Stefan, for forgetting that. I forget things from yesterday, but we've had like hundreds and hundreds of, I just can't remember. So my bad.
I can honestly imagine how much that you guys have to listen to and remember.
Maybe thousands of episodes, Steve.
We don't always remember it. That's the thing. And we just pop on every week and we just start anew. And we're talking anew about a band that we have never, ever spoken about before. They're called Hit the Lights. The album we're talking about is called Skip School Start Fights. And Punkish Dad recommended this one for us. He had told us that his buddy D-Rock, who we talked to last week, pointed this band out to him. And these guys were kind of, part of the neon pop punk era, if you will. He said that the scene was in transition at the time, and as was the whole music industry, the way that we access music, and some good bands just kind of seem to get missed. He feels this one is full of good riffs and hooks. He hopes that we enjoy it. And Stefan, what do you know about Hit the Lights? Chris and I have never spoken about Hit the Lights before. This is going to be the first time.
Well, I mean, I listen not heavily, but I have listened to them quite a few times back in, the Warped Tour days, kind of in the '08 era. And I mean, at the time, it sounded very much like a lot of the other, as you would call it, you just said, like the neon kind of punk bands that were there. Very catchy, very melodic, very summertime kind of songs. I didn't get into them or listen to them really until actually this album, which after I think Colin was the guy's name that left the band. So as soon as they got into this formation is when I started to kind of listen to them a little bit more.
This is actually one of my favorite times in music for a lot of different reasons. I think for me, just in life, from a nostalgia standpoint, this was a really fun time for me. Anywhere from like 2007 through 2012, I was still kind of in my late 20s, going into my 30s, but still plenty of party left in me, and listening to a lot of music, a lot of stuff on the radio, not just pop punk, but everything, into the pop scene a little bit, definitely into this music, but I can say that, that time frame. Did you make that up, Steve? That neon thing? Is that something you made up?
No, that's kind of that's a real thing. Like if you think about the time frame and what people were wearing, I think is what it really referred a lot to. You kind of went through your you went through your, the bangs in the eyes kind of emo in the early 2000s. And then there was kind of this switch with My Chemical Romance into like the dark black and that kind of thing. And then you had bands like Cobra Starship and Hit the Lights and, All Time Low and 303 that were just wearing like bright, flashy colors. And I think the music does sort of lend itself. If there's a way that you can sound like what you look like, I feel like a lot of those bands do kind of fit the mold. But I think that's where a neon pop punk, I think, is a relatively somewhat known term.
Because I think there was a shift. So, and I don't want to get too far into the weeds on this, but I was doing a lot of research one evening when I couldn't sleep, and that shift between, let's say, the 0809 time frame for pop music into the early teens. This is fascinating. I could see it in your face. But ultimately, what we saw was a shift from this, called it like glam pop time frame. And that did, I think, spill over a lot into pop punk music. But as you got into the early teens and more into like 2012, 13, you started to incorporate a lot more of that trance sound and the really, really deep, bass and house music, into pop music, into other music. So this definitely was before that. And the term that I pulled out of my research was glam. Well, glam pop was a big thing at that time. Glam pop was like huge choruses, chantable choruses.
Just put the word punk at the end. You got Boys Like Girls.
But they, but here's the thing: like this band, and I saw it in more than one publication and or whatever I was looking. They said this is not glam pop. This is not. This is, they called it easy core. I've never heard that term before. Have you?
I've heard the term easy core before, yeah, and I guess that Hit the Lights would kind of fall into that. Like I just Chris, when you were saying just going back about like where you were kind of in that time frame of the 08, 09, and yeah, a lot of it was the straighteners, so the straighten the hairs, the tons of like the wristbands, like you remember like they would always have like the what was it? The
It's like plasticky ones, you
I
mean?
love the I love boobies ones that you get all the time. Like, but like people were like 20 of them and it would just go all up their arms. And that's exactly what I think of when I think of this, is it's very much that like scene kid kind of era of punk rock, I guess you can say, or punk pop.
Yeah.
100% though. But yeah, I would see them being in like an easy core kind of vibe.
Yeah, I don't know the definition of easy core, but I feel like that it's somewhat equivalent to what I was kind of talking about. I could see that. It's not. I mean, you definitely can feel like Hit the Lights has some, hardcore background, especially with some of the guitar riffs that they get in. And I've seen that they were on Krista Makes, and they kind of talked about that a little bit. So there is some kind of like a newfound glory, right? So they have a hardcore background, but then they put out pop punk. So I put them in that bucket. But I this is the first time I've ever listened to this band. I was surprised. I went back to my little nerd spreadsheet and didn't find. I can't believe that I've never seen them live. I feel like I had to have seen them at some point, but according to my documentation, I have not. Stefan, are you a big concert dude in live music setting? Have you seen these dudes?
I try to. Being in center of Canada, not many people come. It's super cold, but no, and I'm actually kind of surprised too, because I travel a lot to go to concerts. Obviously, I have to, but yeah, I don't. I've never seen these guys live. And, even in the Warp Tours, everything, like I must have just missed them. But I've never, nope, never have.
Are they touring recently? Does anybody know? Like, have they been around within the last 5 years?
Yeah, they have a tour that's actually coming up. They're going on tour this spring with Major League. They're celebrating 20 years of their first album. It's kind of fucking bonkers, the fact that they're celebrating 20 years of the first album, and here we are. And I'm like, I never knew these guys. It kind of reminds me of like when I learned of Houston Calls, and it was years. It was almost 20 years after their first record. This is another one where it's like one of the best bands that I didn't know, because I really enjoyed it. I feel like this was right up my alley. I like a lot of that stuff. When I hear neon pop punk, I think Cobra Starship. You could take them or leave them. Not everybody likes that type of thing, but I loved when the pop punk kind of shifted a little bit and combined it with like that Justin Timberlake kind of rhythm and pop. And I don't know. The very first time I put this record on, I was like, "Thanks, Punkish Dad. You picked an album that I would definitely like."
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If there was an alley in this universe that was decorated with Wingman Steve's stuff, you would find a CD of Hit the Lights. This is okay. So yeah, I don't want to talk about my opinion yet because I this kind of brought me on a journey throughout, and I'll talk about what that is. But for sure, I had some highs and lows. So
Well,
that's where I'll
I'm
leave it.
excited to get into it. Let us just give a quick shout out to our patrons: Punkish Dad, Punkish Dad's friend, Punk Rock Mom, Jeff, Tom, Ashley, Jason, Sam, Chris, and Nick. And Stefan, I wanted to ask you a little bit more about you before we get into Hit the Lights. So, give us some. What are a couple of your like go-to bands? What's the stuff that you were brought up on? You know, you have Gear 182, so I would assume that you're a big Blink fan, and I see the guitars in the
Mhm.
background. But what's your wheelhouse so we can determine, are we in it? Or are we close to it with this band?
Yeah, I mean, it was obviously Blink-182. It's a lot of the main ones. It's Green Day was obviously huge. Sum 41 being in Canada, Sum 41 was almost actually as up there as Blink-182 was for me. Yellow Card was a big one. Yeah, I mean those kind of genre of like that style of pop punk from the early 2000s, Newfound Glory obviously as well. That's what my wheelhouse kind of was.
Are you continuously, are you listening to like the new wave of pop punk kind of stuff? Your Neck Deeps and your Wonder, I mean, these guys are 15 years old, so it's not really new
Yeah,
wave, but you know what I mean? Like the later stuff Chris was mentioning in the
absolutely.
2010s and further.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, once, the 08s, 09s, 2010s came in and like the newer bands came out. Yeah, like Motion City Soundtrack, I'm a huge fan of as well. When it started to get into that kind of genre with Neck Deep and Motion City and Knucklepuck, like all that kind of stuff, like I really was into. But yeah, I mean, Hit the Lights wasn't a band that like that kind of like the almost polished pop punk kind of sound I wasn't as into as much. Like now I can listen back in them and you know take it for what it is. But back then it was I don't know if like I had it on a few times, but not as it wasn't like a go-to band for me. But yeah, so like those kind of the bands that I used to listen to a lot and still do.
I feel like my excuse around this time, like this was a period of time where I kind of did like I graduated college and started, like working. So I still liked what I liked and listened to what I listened to, and the genre of music didn't change. I just didn't like search out all that much new stuff. Like I remember in 2010, I went to see All Time Low, and my buddy's like, these guys are really good, but I hadn't listened to them up to that point. I needed
Mhm.
somebody in these like 5, 6 years to like nudge me and be like, hey, you should listen to this. But I never got that. So I think that's my excuse for why I missed this band.
That's it's a good excuse. I mean, that's why we miss anything. We can't like every single band or know every single song. So
Mhm.
that's why we do the show to figure out what we missed and listen to all those albums, Steve. So here we are. Hit the lights. Now we can dive in and talk about it. We got to listen to it, listen to the album, skip school, start fights. I also want to know when we're done with this exercise if was this the right choice for those that may know other albums in the repertoire? Like, could there have been another album that we might have wanted to start with? Doesn't really matter because we started with this one, but I'd be curious to know anyway.
It's interesting because so this is their second album. Their first one is in 2006. It was called "This Is a Stick Up, Don't Make It a Murder." And Stefan, you had mentioned their lead singer, their original vocalist, Colin Ross, left the band right before this. And what Punkish Dad had said to us, and I listened to a couple of these songs, is that Colin was a little bit more on the like DeLong side, and their current singer now and moving forward, Nick Thompson, he Punkish Dad said he's a little more Skiba. I don't think he sounds like Skiba, but I think that just in terms of the differences in the vocals. So this is their
Mhm.
first album, Skip School Star Fights from 2008, with Nick as the lead vocalist. They're also
Hmm.
from somewhere not all that far from you, Chris. They're from Lima, Ohio. So Ohio, you don't really think of as like the hotbed for this type of music. Like, of course, we got our Hawthorne Heights, and I'm sure there's a handful of other bands, but I don't particularly think of Ohio as Dayton, Ohio, that area as like a, you know, as a breeding ground for this music. So interesting that they were there. They started in 2003, so they kind of started when we were already listening to this stuff.
Oh, interesting. I knew it was Ohio. I didn't know where. So, yeah, I mean, why not, right? It could be from anywhere. I guess, Columbus is a big, that's several bands come out of there too. But okay, well, yeah, I think that it is what it is. I would love to hear what the Tom DeLonge version is of this band. I did not listen to that album, and now I'm really curious. So
Yeah. Well, it's on the Spotify's and the Apple Music, so you can check it out.
I can, and in case you're wondering, Stefan, we always ask our guests if you're a Mark or Tom guy. We never throw Skiba in there, but are you a Mark or Tom guy? Which one?
Uh, I'm a fan. I know it's such politically correct. I'm a fan of the band.
It's
I
fine.
play guitar more than I play bass, so if I guess I have to pick, it'd be the Tom kind of side of it. But
Yeah, that's the right answer. No, you're right. Good. That's good. See, Steve. See,
It's all
there are
good.
people that know what they're talking about. I agree.
He told the line. He gave the right answer. He's a fan of the band.
Easy, easy. So, are you ready to get into it, or you got other things you want to talk about before we head right in?
Well, the album came out July 8th, 2008, so very much a summertime album on Triple Crown Records. It was produced by Rob Freeman from Hidden in Plain View. As I mentioned, this is Nick Thompson's first role as the lead singer here. It sold over 10,000 copies. It got to number 97 on the Billboard 200. It got to number 11 on the Billboard Independent Albums charts. And listen, if this is neon pop punk, just look at the album artwork, man. I love the album artwork. It's simple, but it just like punches you in the face.
it catches you, yeah. It's the I mean, I'm a huge fan of the splatter design. Like that's even our logo for Gear 182 is a green splatter, right? So as soon as I saw the artwork, I was like, okay.
It
And I
hits
completely
home.
forgot about the artwork too.
It's great. I loved it. And so the band, if you look on their discography, they have 4 full-length albums. So pretty much active from recording music from '06 to 2015. I don't know if they have any new music in store, but like I said, they are just about to go on tour. I did pull a little set list game, so they were on tour last year. So they're still out there playing. And from what they speak about in a lot of they talk about touring a lot in some of their songs, at least off this album.
Yeah, looking at some of the tracks too that track pretty high on Spotify. I don't see if I'm looking at the right band. I don't really know if any of them are off this album.
I know Body Bag is pretty much their biggest song. That's the one that they went on Krista Makes and talked about.
Yeah, but that's not this album.
No, it's not.
So that's off of, I can't tell what that's off of. This is a stick up. Don't make it a murder, right?
That's the first one. Yep.
Yeah, so that's 11 million streams. Not bad. It looks like Drop the Girl is the number one off of this album, and it's 4 million. And I think that's the only one that tracked.
Oh, that's
So,
where I knew the name from. They did the cover of Hey Jealousy on Punko's 90s. That was a fucking killer. That was a killer cover.
oh, that's right. That's
Oh,
right.
I
And that's
didn't know
that's
that.
that is your quota for Gin Blossom references on this show, Steve. So you
I'm
can
finished.
well, you can only have one Gin Blossom reference per show. We talked about that. That was I thought we agreed.
We have at least 40 more minutes. I'll see what I can do.
All right. All right. I keep saying let's get into it, but I'm just so excited to talk about this album, I guess. Anything else before we jump in?
I'm ready to go.
I'm
Stefan?
good. I'm good to go.
Let's go for it. So, Steve, why don't you kick us off with the intro track, Count It? I know it's just an intro, but talk about it anyway.
Yeah, so again, it's a quick intro, kind of piano kickoff track. I will say that this probably doesn't give like the true vibe of the band, but I'm still cool with this as the first song. It's kind of like an appreciative, we're on the road song, show to show. We saw the crowds grow. We played our hearts out. We wore our throats out. It's kind of like a cute thank you probably to their fans. And I always appreciate when bands do that. But it's just an intro track. So it's kind of like just giving us a little appetizer for when we get into the album when it, for me, kind of starts on the next one.
What did you think, Stefan?
Yeah, I think kind of the same thing. Like as soon as like right from the intro, you can kind of tell the direction of the album. Kind of. I mean, it's upbeat, it's punchy, and I guess with this being the first song with now Nick as the vocalist, him talking about already the tour and stuff. It's kind of interesting. So how long? Sorry, how long was he the singer for the band before this album came out?
So who, Colin?
Colin, sorry, yes.
So the band started in 2003.
Yeah,
I don't know when like it happened, like he left and they started recording this. This came out in 2006. So
yeah,
somewhere in between there, he left the band and Nick took over.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I can I just you can tell that it's they get straight into it, and then yeah, as soon as you get to the second track is when it really gets in. But it's a good intro.
But I believe Nick was the guitarist. So I think he was part of the band all along.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's not like they Craigslisted a
That's
new
right.
singer. They just
Yeah,
they graduated the
Oh,
guitarist
got it.
and he became the lead singer.
got
Yeah,
it. Okay.
kind of like a Phil Collins thing, right?
That's a reference that everyone gets.
Mm-hmm. Oh, come on. What are you? Like, you're not 20 years younger than me. You
I
know Phil
am.
Collins.
I am 20 years younger than you.
You're not. You're absolutely not. And everybody out there gets it too. If you don't call me, I'll talk to you about it. But I don't have much more to say about this. I don't have anything to say. You guys basically said it all about the intro. So, Stefan, why don't you just go ahead and transition into the first real track, Breathe
So
In.
breathe in. This is this I guess really is the first glimpse you see of Nick as that new vocalist. I mean, catchy chorus. You know, it's a very much summer Warped Tour drive down or windows down kind of song. Um, yeah, and it kind of just I think this is like the first introduction of that new voice for this kind of band. Listening to like the album before this one, as I was catching up on them, it really is a different vibe altogether. So like this track really kind of sets, I think, that for what the band is now. And I mean, Breathe In is I think a good kind of segue right from Count In.
Yeah, so not a bad start here for me. I think definitely from the get go, they put the pop in pop punk 100%. I mean,
Hmm.
you get it slapped across your face here with Breathe In, but like I said, not a bad start. I think the guitar riff definitely hits well. The tempo's fun. The lyrics are a little, the lyricist, a little nasally for my taste. So I understand that was, somewhat of a staple amongst a lot of pop punk bands, and I'm the host of a pop punk show. But sometimes it becomes a little bit too much for me personally and my tastes, and this might, kind of be on the edge of that. But the melody's good enough to really mask it in my opinion, so didn't bother me a ton. The bridge was good here, and it had a strong finish, so I thought it was a decent track. Definitely broke in with something palatable, and I didn't mind it. Steve?
I thought Nick's voice is real smooth. Again, not comparing it to anybody else's. I think he just sounds great. He's not like as high pitched as like a Jordan Putnick, but he's kind of right there with like a lot of these other kind of, pop punk bands, right? So
Hmm.
right from the beginning here on this song, I'm like, all right, this is my kind of band. This is like for fans of, gives me like the vibes of kind of like early Starting Line, Cartel, mixed with some of that neon stuff, like a little Forever the Sickest Kids and All Time Low. It's got chuggy guitars, it's fast paced, it's got yaz. There's like a boppy ass chorus. Like I can just hear how good and how much fun like this song would be in a live setting. And one thing that they do fantastically, I'm probably going to say the same thing for a lot of these songs because a lot of them have the same elements. Awesome harmonies in the bridge here. It's a pretty simply constructed song, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, chorus. It's perfectly constructed bubblegum pop punk, if you will. And I'll chew that up all day for sure.
Interchangeable is my word.
Interchangeable
Inter-
what?
Interchangeable. It's like I could wear a blindfold and I can be like, oh yeah, that's Cartel. Wait, no, that's All Time Low. Or wait a minute, is that Hit the Lights? I don't know.
You may not be wrong, but his voice sounds great, and those other
I'm not taking
singers,
that
their
away. I'm not
voices
taking
sound
that
great.
away. Not taking that away from you. I know you want to have it, and I want you to have it, but I definitely will stand behind it. But hey, let's go ahead and move to the next song. Steve, you want to kick us off with "Stay Out"?
Yeah, I mean, right here we have the whoa-ohs like right at the start. This one gives me more of the kind of Forever the Sickest Kids, All Time Low, a little bit more on that that neon kind of vibe. To me, this one sounded like a kind of like an easygoing party anthem. He's talking about staying up all night and going out and breaking bottles, and just the one where he says the police chase him, or maybe that's another one. I don't know. I thought this one was really good. At the end, there's kind of like a muted bridge. They mix it in with some haze. It's another one that is following the same type of blueprint, and I enjoyed it.
You missed the oh woes, oh woes.
I mean, I mentioned them somewhat, maybe not exact. I was close.
You should accentuate that's your thing though. You love that stuff.
There's so many oh-ohs and whoa-woes in this album that while I'm trying to talk and not listening to it, that I don't want to say the wrong ones.
These are pretty big woes. I'll tell you what. Stefan, what did you think about this track?
Yeah, I mean I feel that this was kind of a song that was written for the crowd to shout back to. This would be a great song to listen live in that live setting. But yeah, I mean, big sing-along chorus, classic pop punk structure. I mean, not much more to add.
No, not much more to add. I will say that I did love and forgive me because I don't know if this has anything to do with anything, but I called it the stutter chug guitar riff or something where it was kind of like a very just darker riff, but it kind of stuttered a little bit. And I don't have the timestamp in terms of where I heard it, but I really thought that stood out. I liked the guitar in this album, in this track specifically. It says the guitar strum over the first line of lyrics. That really was something I thought was well done. And, the chorus here, so getting back to the actual song itself, I think the chorus is fine. I think this is kind of delving into the just interchangeable. I'll keep saying that, but so not amazing to me, very poppy in this instance. And okay, so definitely doesn't take away from the fact that I think it's fine, but it's starting to maybe go in a direction that I'm not sure about. So that said, Stefan, why don't you kick us off with the next one? I think you kicked us. Well, you did. So talk about Drop the Girl.
Well, yeah, I mean, this was, I think, their main song off the title, right? Had the music video for it, and all that. I'd be lying if I said I remember seeing the music video back in the day, but I mean, again, maybe I just wasn't watching the right programming. Very catchy. It's very, radio friendly. I mean, I think this is for me this is how you can, this is when I start to really hear how polished, the album was kind of getting. It was, but again, was one of their main songs, so it makes sense.
Steve?
Yeah, so apparently this one, I saw it feature Shane Henderson of Valencia. I don't know exactly where he's featured in it. I didn't necessarily hear where it came out. I saw that he was on here somewhere. I'm not a huge Valencia fan. I don't know much of their music, but I did see him one time here in Philly. This one's got a killer guitar line. I like that it keeps coming back to that line, Drop the Girl. It's in the verses, it's in the chorus, it's all throughout the song. Maybe I was looking too much in the lyrics. I saw some musical references. Maybe I'm making them up. He says, she's trying to figure out the breakdown. The bridge is burning. If I made it up or not, I don't know. I liked it a lot. This chorus is the bubblegummist of the bubblegum pop punk goodness. It's a little cheesy, sure, but it doesn't bother me. They do mix in a little, mini scream there. And Stefan, you mentioned the music video. I watched it on YouTube. It's kind of like your quintessential cheesy, they're like in high school and there's like the hot girl and, they're playing in the gym. I thought it's a good song.
They hit all the check marks for the music video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Everything that you think that's what's in there. And their shirts. There is a thing where their shirts keep display, they say words, but each person's shirt, it's black and then it says a phrase on it and then maybe it disappears. I don't know. Each person has a different thing.
Yeah. When my son says, "Hey dad, what was 2008 like?" I'm going to play him this song. And
Drop the Girl.
Definitely going to make him feel like he's in that particular year. I think all of what you guys said was correct. It has good energy. and a really decent flow. So, this is a hit. You can't really say that it's not catchy. Definitely not a throwaway, even though it's a little samey in a lot of ways. I think it still kind of set itself apart a little bit, especially with the way the song starts. I think instantly it had a little bit different of a sound to kind of kick off the track itself. So I think the catchiness, mixed with the fact that it was definitely sustainable in a lot of ways, from a melodic standpoint, I thought it was fine. It just might not be catchy in my favorite way. So again, starting to fall off a little bit here because I don't know. Maybe it's that sweetness of the bubble gum that's starting to give me a headache. But
What if the scream was screamier? Would that be better?
it's just not the band. I mean, it's not them. Like they threw. I know what you're talking about, and I thought I heard it, and I'm like, wait a minute, is that what I heard, or is that just something else? I thought maybe somebody yelled in my house, and it was in the song, but I guess not. I don't know, Steve. You make a good point, but maybe I'd let that come and go and forgot about it. But it's fine. I think this. I could see where it would be a single. I could see where this would be a popular one off of the album. But like I said, it's starting to go again in a direction that I'm not sure about. So we can move on to the next one. And I guess I haven't started one off here in a bit, so I'll talk about it. And tell me, and I can't read my own writing here. Tell me where you are. I almost said what you are,
Where you want to
but
be?
I probably should have. Is that a reference?
Where you want to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's take it next Sunday.
Oh yeah. Okay. Because that could be anything though.
They're just words, but mixed together.
It could be. It
Form
could
phrases
be.
and sentences and album titles.
I thought the synth piano into the great intro was once again. I like how these songs start. I think that's been kind of a consistency in terms of my analysis so far. Like the tracks actually start where I'm very interested based on the different ways that they begin their tracks. So definitely something that stood out to me with that. However, beyond that, I just wasn't sure. I think, I said it in the last track, but guys, the sweet poppiness is just starting to get to me here. I'm starting to slow down a little bit.
You're starting to
Unfortunately,
sour already?
I'm starting to slow down.
We're not even halfway through.
I'm starting to lag
We're on
behind
track
a little
5.
bit. I think okay. So a couple positives too. Like I think the drums stood out to me. I think that very solid drums. I love the beat. I think it saves the song to a point because it keeps the energy flowing in a direction and the drums, again, are hard enough where it just maybe appeals to my senses and counteracts what I just said about the sweetness of the song itself. So I like that. And it, I guess those drums, into the finale where they end the song as strong as they possibly could here. I think that was definitely maybe, the other positive I could pull out. But other than that, guys, I'll leave it where it's at. So I'll pass it to you and see if you felt differently.
Go ahead, Stefan.
So, I mean, this one was the little more slower, a little more melodic. It's this is, I guess, where you can say that they have their sad song almost. Not really sad song, but I mean, it's their more emotional song, um, which I guess gives the band a little bit more substance, not just playing party songs. So now we're kind of into a little bit more of an emotional. But I agree, Chris, with a lot of the stuff that you were saying. Starts off good, and then it kind of, for me, kind of dwindles out, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't really remember even too much of the song. It was kind of, for me, a little bit forgettable. But yeah, it was nice at least seeing a different part of it, different side of them, as opposed to just really fast up until that point.
I think you guys are fucking crazy. This song is my jam, dude. From the very first listen, I was like, this song is fantastic. It's got those softer verses and they build up into this huge anthemic chorus. I just love it. I've mentioned harmonies before, but they're really, really good. I could picture this as like the finale of like a rom-com or like a, one of those teen comedies. At the end, it's playing in the background, and maybe this is the scene where the two people like get together and the camera's like swirling around their heads and they found each other. I mean, that's not the concept of the lyrics or anything like that, but I mean, that's just the way that it feels to me. I feel like this one is one that when it comes on and I'm in the car, like I just want to sing along to it. Right at the end, it's got these rolling drums. It's got a big instrumental. The only thing, if I was the producer, and I am not a producer, but I feel like they could have done that thing where, they go one chorus where it's just the drums and a clap that last, tell me where you are. And like they could have done that thing and then had one extra chorus at the end. But I don't even count that. No notes. This song was 5 stars in Chris's system to me. 5 stars, circle it. Moon.
All the things that I love, Steve.
Underline.
Rom-coms and clapping. You put it all together into one nice package. Thank you.
Why do you hate love, Chris? Why do you hate love so much? It's February.
It's February what? It's like February 16th or 17th.
Yeah, but it's the month of love. Come on, don't hate love.
It's just one day.
You tell me where you are and I'll find you.
Oh my God. And I think, are we done with this one? I mean, look.
I believe so. I would stay on. I would put this one on repeat and listen to it over again. But
I think the people out there they get it. People get it, and I bet you there's people that agree with you. It's a big world out there, and I guarantee you there's some people out there that agree with you.
Yes,
guarantee it.
I guarantee it as well. Thank you.
Yeah, and I guarantee it that there's a lot of people that don't understand this next track at all, and I'm one of them.
You don't understand it?
No, I don't understand why I would listen to it. Okay, so before I say anything like that, guys, go ahead. Maybe you can be the positive influence on me with Hang 'em High. Hang 'em high.
Hangs 'em high.
Oh my God. All right. Hangs 'em high.
We're getting grammatical about it.
Whew. All right, Steve, you're shot out of a cannon, so go ahead.
Woo!
You want to?
Yeah, this one picks right up very fast from the get-go, kind of that double time vibe to it. Another super catchy chorus with these haze. I mean, if you closed my eyes and I never heard this song and you said, Steve, this is an all-time low song, I'd be like, okay, I 100% would buy into that. That's not a negative. That's just kind of what it sounds like. Second, as they kind of do the chorus, they add a couple of lines. They throw in the, she can party harder than you can. You don't understand, so don't get her. I bet you this one is harder live than it sounds like on the track. Like I feel like this one would kind of rip live. And I don't know. I mean, I think I understand the song. It's it's about somebody who's doing whatever they can do to fit in. Maybe the band wrote it about some female who's all about the band and she's name dropping and she shows up at their shows and wants to get backstage and whatever, fill in the blanks, what happens afterwards. But listen, it's not as much of a masterpiece as the one before it, but I enjoy listening to it every time.
Yeah. Stefan, talk about how you hangs 'em high.
I hangs 'em high all the time. So, I mean, it's coming off of Tell Me Where You Are. I mean, this immediately it's faster, it's punchier, it's a little bit more aggressive too, which is you can kind of hear some examples of that, that easy core kind of influences. A little bit, you can kind of hear also a little bit of like a heavier side of pop punk kind of creeping in on this song. But yeah, I mean, the lore behind it, who could say, could be about that special someone trying to get backstage.
When they say she hangs them high everywhere she goes, like, what are we talking about?
The phrase itself, I don't know that I know. I mean, at first, it's not like a high five. That's probably not it. I bet you it's something that's really simple that we're just not thinking of.
Yeah, I don't know. You got to put yourself back into 2008 and
hang
all the
high?
slangs. And
is that the thing? Like,
yeah,
I don't like. I lived in 2008 and I never said that to anybody ever in any situation.
Hang them high, get them low. Is that a thing?
see what Google says or whatever you guys AI stuff. I'll talk about what I thought about this song. So it had promise when we got into the intro of the track. Like I've been saying, a lot of these songs are going to and have had a lot of promises. You get into it because you start to get really excited. Wow, this is great. And then they get into what comes next, which is stuff that just kind of blends. Guys, it's all starting to blend for me. It's just blending in. It's like I'm in a blender and it's starting to start. It's a blender of pop punk music and bubblegum. And I'm starting to get stuck in the bubblegum. Like it's swirling around me and
Swim
I
out,
can't
swim out. Take
you
it off
can't
your
move your
shoe. It
arms.
still has some flavor left.
Bubblegum is sticky and it starts to get weird, after a while. So I'm starting to feel weird about this whole scenario, but I didn't understand this one. I didn't think it really sounded anywhere close to something that is different or catchy or anything like that. Maybe it's catchy, but man, does this sound like everything else. So I just couldn't get into this one at all.
I don't think the definition that I got from Google's AI really has anything to do with this. It says that Hang 'em High refers to the 1968 American Western film starring Clint Eastwood, depicting a story of vigilante justice, revenge, and the harsh legal executions in the Old West. I don't think this is what Hit the Lights is talking about.
It might be.
I don't get that from these guys. Again, this is more of the party stuff.
That would be more entertaining, in my opinion. All right. Backbreaker, whoever wants to start.
I can start. I mean, for me, yeah, I mean, it's so Backbreaker. What do I have here? Uh, it's more of a harder hitting, more bite in the guitars. Leans a little more towards, I think, more hardcore influences than the popish side, at least. So I did appreciate that. So that was for me when I got to this song, it was a little bit more. It wasn't just that, like you were saying, Chris, like bubblegum pop. This was a bit different. I didn't mind this one. I actually really like this song.
I'm pretty sure that back in 2008, when they were writing this song, these guys called up Chad from Newfound Glory and they were like, "Yo, Chad, do you have a fucking killer guitar riff that you could just
Hmm.
loan me and I can just live in it? Because this is a Newfound Glory guitar riff that
Yeah.
it is like this time, maybe even the next few years. Like, it's not Sticks and Stones Newfound Glory, but it's like resurrect, like, a couple albums later, Newfound Glory. That guitar line is fantastic. It's got another anthemic chorus, just another great jam. And I had the same note, Stefan, that you mentioned. You can hear the hardcore background in this one. It's definitely a little different than most of the other songs
Yeah.
on this record.
Yeah, and I picked up on that immediately. So same here. Like the guitar, definitely the harder sound brought me back a little bit from the depths of where I was before. So it was like kind of somebody threw a ladder down to me out of the bubblegum mess, and I was able to pull myself up a little bit, even though it kept trying to suck me back in. I was able to climb out just a little bit. There was a little bit of a sappy chorus here, kind of took me out. This was like one of those songs that I was in, out, in, out. But I think that I was had enough enjoyment out of the things that were good that would put me in a position that I would tend to agree with you guys on this one being actually a decent track. So I was a fan here. I'd listen to this one again. See, it's not all bad. It's not all bad.
Good. All right. Well, don't wait. Keep it going.
Don't wait. And by the way, my where I usually look at the set list for what we're talking about, that just died. So now I got to depend on the writing, my handwriting.
You mean,
So
the track list.
yeah, so now I'm definitely going to mess up every single track on the rest of this discussion. So
Well, while I'm talking, just go get your charger. Is it in your near vicinity?
it's literally like it's in the part of the house that's the farthest from where I'm at right now.
That's
So
some poor planning, sir.
You win some, you lose some. Don't wait. This is your good buddy Alex Gaskarth from that one band, right?
From that
Steve?
band. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't hear him. Do you guys hear him here?
I don't think so.
No,
I think it's
I
because their voices sound so similar. Like Simple
yeah.
Creatures is Alex and Mark Hoppus. Like you can fucking really tell the difference.
You can hear it. Yeah.
I don't know where he is here.
Yeah, I think they have very much the same voice. it was cool that he was able to guest on it. Obviously, for them just to, I think, because I think they've opened for All Time Low around this time or just before this time, so they probably had some sort of, connections. And I think especially in that time when everybody was like touring in Warp Tours and all of this
Yeah.
stuff, like that era of pop punk felt like almost like one big community. And I think for what this song is, anyways, where regardless where Alex is on it, I think is a perfect example kind of that because it really is. I think, especially again like this time, it was a one big community of everybody, working together. So many videos you would see a guitar player sick, and then somebody from another band that was on the bill that night would just jump in and be able to play and. Um, so it was kind of cool seeing this, but yeah, I'm honestly, Steve, I don't know what part was which for the two.
No clue.
It's so weird. I thought it was just going to be me that couldn't disseminate between the two. I thought that or differentiate between the two. But I just went with it. I'm like, yeah, it must be Alex is in there somewhere. I have no clue. But I'll tell you what, this one is another solid track. I'll give it to you. And I'm not really a huge all time low fan either. I've been very vocal about the fact that I definitely have not enjoyed a lot of their stuff. But this one, I think it was this the flow. So you listen to the way that they deliver the lyrics in this song. It has a flow to it that is like a continuous motion, and for some reason that connects with me. So I really enjoyed the way that the lyrics were written and the tempo that they were delivered over the music. The music obviously has to be there too, and it was to enough of a point to kind of make everything glue everything together and keep it enjoyable. But I really like that. I mean, there were some components to this that I thought were still a little middle of the road. Maybe it was the chorus, maybe it was something else, but overall, again, I thought this was a very solid track and definitely one again that I thought was pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, I liked the piano inclusion in the beginning. I got some vibes on like a little bit of a twang on the singer here. Got a little like Tony Lovato vibes. It kind of sounded like maybe it's just when he says lazy summer days, crazy sleepless nights. It kind of sounded like Tony when he sings Jaded. I don't know. This one is not it's not quite a ballad per se, but it kind of gives off some of those vibes. It's like a little slower. I love, the changed kind of softly delivered lyrics at the end. They switch up the words a little bit. Again, I didn't hear Alex distinctly, but I thought the song was super fun to listen to. Liked it.
Yeah, look at that. We all enjoyed one.
I've been enjoying all of them.
We all did. We're all in the same boat when it comes to that
Yay.
song. Isn't that
Same
fun?
Z's.
But maybe maybe I'm gonna cry my eyes out here, but maybe not. So I don't know. Steve, did you cry your eyes out here? The next song's called "Cry Your Eyes Out." By the way,
You could read that off your handwriting.
this one was
Congratulations.
easy. Yes. Look, my handwriting's not the worst in the whole world. I'm going a little overboard with my evaluation of that, but sometimes my letters, when I'm writing fast, sometimes it's hard to read.
This one I think is Punkastad's favorite. I think he told me.
Mm.
With this one, you get back to kind of those heavier guitars. It's got that kind of stop start into some kind of quick, delivered lyrics. I thought that the pre-chorus and the chorus was something that was very memorable, something that you could sing along to, and that was kind of it. It's just another enjoyable song.
Stefan?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of your classic breakup pop punk kind of song, emotional, upbeat musically. At the time, I'm sure very relatable lyrics, and uh, a lot of the times pop punk works pretty well when it's emotional and it's got good kind of upbeat music behind it. So I like this one. For what it is. Punkistad's favorite, not my favorite, I don't think on the album, but it was good.
Hmm. That's interesting that this is his favorite of the whole thing. I guess maybe there's some emotional ties with something that happened in in that time period for him, but I don't really want to hear I don't want to hear about them singing about crying their eyes out. I don't care about that or other people. I don't know. It just didn't connect with me. This is super accessible. I can say that much, in terms of it being a mostly poppy song. It can definitely be on the radio. So, kudos to them for writing a song like that. But it seemed like they wrote a lot of songs like that on here, and it just not much. Very samey, very just back in that rut of being the same type of song. And hey, if you love that, more of the same, you're going to enjoy this. I really have been on the fence with it. So the fact of the matter is, it kind of tips me more on the side of, man, are we still listening to this more so than, yeah, give me more. I did like that false ending though. I thought that was pretty cool, but that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, the next song is called Statues. Stefan, you want to kick this one off?
Yeah, so this one I remember of this one being a fan favorite. Maybe I'm wrong, but I remember this one being one of the fan favorites. Um, uh, Stronger songwriting I've for this one for me, um, compared to the other ones, or at least leading up to this song. But uh, not I don't really have too much to. It's got I mean the tone of the song itself, like the guitar parts for me on this one, I don't know. It was something about, I don't know if it was different amps, different guitars. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was just I went from listening it into the car to headphones at home and back and forth. So maybe it was got me at the right time, but it sounded different for me. Like some of the guitar, like the tone part of it, and I really liked it. But yeah, I keep going back to remembering that this was. Anytime I would ask people about the band, like Statues, I always remember them being one of the fan favorites. So I'm not sure really why it would have been one of the fan favorites. And it's not, again, one of mine on the album, but that teaches one, I guess.
Maybe because maybe it's introspective and they connected with that, or thought it was interesting that they were kind of, that's what I believe it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're talking about themselves. You guys see it differently?
I think it's the chorus and the way that he delivers it. He does that kind of like up and down thing. And I'll send postcards to enemy. Like he's
Yeah.
going up and down. I feel like it has this extra hook. I also feel like this is one of the songs that the guitar is not the thing that really sticks out to me. I felt like the kind of fast
Mm.
double time drums, like almost like a Rufio song. That's really what kind of stood out to me. And it also made me think of, for some reason, it might have just been a lyric or two. Oh, I think it was, yeah, it reminded me of Baby Blue from early November when he says, I don't want you to love me anymore. Something along those lines. There's kind of that gang vocals, and that's not exactly like this in the song, but I think in the first verse he says, did they ever like us anyway? Something along those lines. But again, I think it's the catchy chorus, but the best part, I believe, is the bridge. I think the bridge of this song is
Mm.
really, really good.
I'll ask it again. Do you think this is introspective?
Oh,
This
like
song?
the song. Um, I don't know. I don't send postcards to anybody. I don't know if I would send postcards to my enemies. I might write them a strongly worded email or a tweet or something like that. Um, what makes you feel like it's introspective? Is it
They'll build
lyrics or just the
statues
way
in
it?
our likeness. They wanted it to be like us, but did they ever like us anyway?
Maybe, maybe it's about the world and how they see them. That it could, yeah, it could be introspective. Sure, I'll
I
buy
don't
it.
know. Yeah, I'm not really that dead set on it being the thing, but it just seemed like it stuck out to me. I, I I'll tell you what, like maybe it is the chorus that turns me off. Like that up, down, up, down. Like that seems like it's on a lot of pop punk songs for a chorus, like in that formula. I hear that a lot, and it's in a lot of pop punk songs that I'm not really a huge fan of. So maybe that kind of thing is what, I don't know. Maybe that's just what doesn't connect with my brain here. I think the song's kind of catchy. I think you guys, you said it. I mean, it definitely is not the opposite of that, but I don't know. Sometimes melodies just don't connect with your brain, and this is one of them. So I was definitely not into this one.
All right, fair enough. You want to move on
Mhm.
to the next one?
Yeah, go for it.
Say what you want to say. It's another song that's like maybe not super happy. Maybe this one's actually a little bit more angry, but it still kind of comes off as a happy poppy jam. It definitely has a harder, like kind of metally guitar section, which is very cool. And I don't think there's a ton of that on this record. There's a little bit, but that's kind of what stuck out to me. I think we're at the tail end of this album now. I don't want to say it's an album track. I definitely still enjoyed it, but it's an album track.
Is this a party song, Steve?
I turn it on, crank it up, get what's coming to you. It may be. I think it's an angry song. I think it's like a payback song. You could listen to this at a party.
You know what a lot of these songs on this album could be is background music while you're playing beer pong. We talked about that before, but I think these could be great background songs that you're not really listening to that are just on.
I think a lot of pop punk during this time could fit into that category, though.
You're right.
Yeah.
I used to make beer pong CDs just of this music. That's the only time that my house would let me play them.
And this band never made the cut?
I'm telling you, this is the first time I have listened to this band other than the Hey Jealousy cover from Punko's 90s. I don't know why, but I missed them. And I'm mad. I'm mad at myself for not, because if somebody, or maybe I'm mad for my friends that listen to similar music because nobody fucking told me to listen to it, because I would have. And obviously I would have liked it.
Maybe you're mad for the Gin Blossoms.
I already reached my maximum, so I cannot comment on that.
I have unlimited Gin
I cannot comment. I've been cut off.
Mine is Blues Traveler, and I didn't mention them once.
Oh, geez. Well, you just mentioned them, so that's it. Done.
All right.
I think they're touring together this summer, by the way.
Say what you want to say. Thanks. We should go.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I can't make the date that's closest to me. I looked at it.
What are we talking about? All right. Well, we could go and we'll figure it out. Say what you want to say. I think this song. So this actually I thought was a little bit better in my opinion. I think this kind of brought us back up a little bit. It has that chugging guitar riff that we get once in a while on this track that I really connected with. And especially around, let's say, the 1 minute 35, I'd say go check that sound out for sure. And thank you. Yes.
Blues Traveler, Gin Blossom, Spin Doctors on tour this summer.
Coming to Pittsburgh.
They're not. They're not coming here either. Continue. My bad.
Coming to Canada?
They're going to Columbus, Ohio. This just says, isn't that close to you?
Yeah, Columbus. It's actually not that bad.
Yeah, they're going to be in Bethlehem, PA, which is like an hour from me, and Atlantic City. Ugh, I don't like to go to Atlantic City.
All right, check out 135 on this track. It's probably the best point in the whole song. So I don't really think I connected with the subject matter here. I have no idea what they're talking about, other than the fact that we just identified it could be a party song, but I'm not sure I really care about that. Ultimately, I think the music here was good enough, and I thought, again, it was a solid track in that respect. Stefan?
Yeah, I mean, I actually, Chris, you said it. What I was going to say was, we don't often get the metal or hardcore kind of guitar riffs or chugs or whatever, but when you do it, it really does stick out, especially with this band, right? Like, so that's what I really enjoyed off of this song. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think you can use this as a party song. Really, I think you can put it on, crank it up, and I think it'd be a hit.
I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it this summer when I have a party. But do you think, having a party now doesn't really hit the same? Probably not.
Depends what kind of party you're throwing.
Well, any party anymore, it's not like it was when we were having beer pong games.
So let's go back to Penn State. We'll invade my old fraternity and we'll put this music on. Actually, that happened to me a couple of months ago. I was visiting Penn State. I went to my old fraternity and somebody gave me their Spotify to put the music on while we were playing beer pong. And I think it only lasted like 3 songs and somebody else turned it off.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, play some pop punk. And do you know what fucking song they put on? I wasn't trying to be a jerk, so I didn't say anything.
Don't say Machine Gun Kelly.
They put on the All American Rejects. And I'm like, okay, God. I mean, it's in the right vicinity, but like, that's not what I really want to listen to playing beer pong. Like, that doesn't pump me up.
They don't want to listen to what you don't want to listen to. They don't.
I think they put on some playlist. I think All Time Low came on. maybe Newfound Glory, and then somebody else was like, "Who the fuck put this on? Let's get rid of this."
Yep. Yeah, I'm actually surprised you lasted that long, but yes, let's do that. Let's invade. Let's bring our iPod. Let's plug it in
My iPod Shuffle.
somewhere. I have an iPod. Let's see if that'll work out. But Stefan, what did you think about this next track, Wide Awake?
Um, keeps what my notes I had, keeps the energy high, late in the album. Good pacing, good pacing choice before the closer. I mean, this is kind of the song that, I think just keeps the album from really dragging in the second half. I liked Wide Awake. It's not that often that the last three songs on the album, I gravitate towards, but Wide Awake was one I liked. It was, for me anyways, I think this would be a really good party song.
Steve?
Yeah, by this point in the album, I'm saying to myself, like, man, this album just like doesn't really take a breath. Like it's fast
Mhm.
paced, like the whole way through. Even songs that one or two that I mentioned were like ballady, really weren't like true ballads in any way, shape, or form. This one doesn't really have the catchy chorus like most of the others do, but I do feel like it's still solid. This is another one where I thought the bridge was fantastic. Right afterwards, there's a really nice verse. He goes, "Everybody wants to go out in the town, but I just want to rest. I just want to rest. All my life I've been lost. Now I'm found. Hanging out with my friends, living up our dead ends." I think that's what it is. I don't know. I like that verse. I like the lyrics. I haven't dived too deep into the lyrics of this, but when I find something I like, I'll highlight it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys make me feel like a real big jerk here because I feel like I took all the other songs on this album, I put them back in that same blender, I blended them up, and then you got this song. So that's where I'm at here. I my notes say that at this point in time, I'm just forcing commentary, and this I'm tired, really tired, and I have a headache.
Is that when you were writing the notes, or that's right now?
That's when I was writing the notes and I was doing my analysis. Over,
Wow.
I probably listened to this song like probably a half dozen times before I get out those 2 lines of analysis on it. So that's the best I could do. I'm sorry. I'm going to listen to it again because you guys are so high on it. Maybe I miscalculated, but I'll tell you what, that's all I got. So sometimes it takes a different perspective to see things in a different perspective. So I'll give it another shot. Why not?
All right. Well, we're at the end here. We got on and on. Stefan, you want to culminate this album for us? What do you think?
I mean, the closing track, right? I think it ends the record on, you know, uh, I think it ends it pretty well. It's good emotional wrap up for the album. It's a good little send off. It was good because, Wide Awake kind of lets you, on that high, and then on and on, I think kind of just really sets it off for the closing.
Yeah, I really like there's like these plucking guitar notes kind of with the soft strum on the intro to this. I thought it was a great way to end the album. Like it's soft and it's powerful. It builds well musically throughout the song. It's got a
Mhm.
really good message if you listen to the lyrics. It's kind of, life goes on, good and bad, life goes on. There's one part very positive, when you feel the water pull you down, you're caught up in the gravity. Don't let it take you out to drown. Just hold your head above this. At the very end, it's not quite gang vocals to end this song, but it's kind of close to gang vocals, which I'm always a fan of. So I liked this kind of emotional culmination. I thought it was good.
Next time you go to that party, instead of asking for pop punk music, ask them to play something that's soft and powerful and see what they
Soft and
say.
powerful. That's
Mhm.
like, that's the song to end the night. That's why they end the record with it.
Oh no, I put on Piano Man at the beginning of the night.
No, that's the song that you play at the end of the
Oh
night.
no, I go to the jukebox and I put no, okay. I love doing that stuff.
I bet you do.
It's just so much fun. On and on. I guess that this one, you know what I really liked about this one is how it gets progressively louder and bigger. I think that was a big standout for me. Like, I really wasn't a huge fan of the way it started. I didn't really like the soft parts. I thought I was going to be bored the whole time. I did like how it kind of grew though, and it just got, the song got bigger, and my interest obviously went with it. So this one grew on me a little bit more than I thought it would for that reason. Is it the best ending track to an album? I don't think anybody asked me that question, but definitely not. For this album, though, I think it probably would be if I was going to say like, hey, 13 tracks. What are in your top half? This one would be in my top half for sure.
All right. Well, we got through the record. I think I enjoyed it the most out of the three of us, and I never even heard it before.
Yeah,
What do
but
I
you're
win?
Yeah.
you like this era of pop punk like a lot, don't you? Like
It's not the era. It's just what it sounds like.
it is the era though. It's that big glam synth. Like you're into that. Like Cobra Starship, like all that stuff. That's your jam.
Cobra Starship is very different than this. I would equate this closer to All Time Low, or maybe Boys Like Girls. But I like all those things. Sure.
But you like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I like to like. I like to like.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to
I
be
don't
honest
like
with
to. I don't
yourself
like to
too.
hate.
I didn't say anything about hate, but you got to be honest with yourself about what you like and about what sounds good to you as well. So, knowing what I know about you, just like you know what you know about me, I assumed that you were going to be a big fan of this, and I was right.
I kind of figured you weren't going to be a big fan of this because
I
you don't like that. You don't like Newfound Glory. You don't like All Time Low, and you put those two together, and this is kind of the baby that comes out. And
Now hold on now, for our guest Stefan, there's no context with any of that. Come on.
Trying to
There's
piece it all together as you guys are talking, but yeah.
there's definitely some Newfound Glory that I'll listen to. Definitely some. The majority probably not, but there's some that I
it's
like.
not the first 5 albums.
There's a couple things mixed in.
It's like a couple of songs off Radio Surgery.
You like what you like. Yeah, that's just what it comes down to. So, what's that one Newfound Glory song I really like?
Head On Collision? No, Catalyst.
No, I can't think of it.
Oh, it's Vegas.
Vegas? No.
I think it's Vegas.
No, it's not Vegas. Eyesore. That's it.
It was one of those. Vegas Eyesore. They're like right back.
That's not on. That's not on a later album. That's on an early album, isn't it?
That's one song.
Sometimes one song.
We did that whole album, and you're like, "This is the only song that's fucking good."
Hey, what are you gonna do? Everybody has their opinions, but you enjoy what you want. And like you said, it sounded like you enjoyed this a lot. Stefan, what did you think? Just general thoughts about the album as we get into the next section here.
I mean, feels like a snapshot of that late 2000s pop punk, polished, melodic, fun, energetic kind of, but still authentic. Like I like they definitely have, in an era where everything kind of does sound the exact same. A lot of the bands in this time sounds the exact same. These guys still have their own little sound to them. I feel anyways.
I feel like they would be killer at like a festival, like a 4-chord music festival.
Yeah.
You give these guys like a 35-minute set, they're gonna like fucking knock it out of the park. Like think about a band like Patent Pending, right? Like I'm not the biggest fan of Patent Pending, but every time we see them live, they have like 9-10 songs and they kill it. Even if you're not a huge fan of the Hey Mario or whatever it is, the douchebag song, like they still they command the crowd. And yeah. I gotta try and catch them. I don't know if I can make I think they're coming to Philly, but I gotta try. Gotta see them.
Was it Hey Mario or was it Hey Leonardo?
Patent Pending is Hey Mario. Hey Leonardo is the best song from Blessed Union of Souls, and we've now reached our absolute maximum of shitty 90s bands for this episode.
Okay. So.
Wow, did I just render you speechless? 321 episodes is the first time ever. Jesus Christ.
So, okay. Yeah, I forget what I was going to say. Let's just go. I had something I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember. Let's go on to the next segment. And this next segment, ladies and gentlemen, is called Ranking It. This is where we rank our top 3 favorite songs from the album. And we usually start with our guest. So, Stefan, why don't you give us your top 3 in order, 3, 2, 1, your favorite songs off of this amazing album?
The top 3 I would pick would be, I know we talked about Drop the Girl was very, very bubblegum, very like obviously the video hit the boxes and stuff, but when I think, just because going back in the day, when I think of these guys, that's the song that I associate with. So I still will say this one. Um, Hangs 'em High was good. I did like, I think that was one of the top ones. And then the other one was, what was the other one? Wide Awake, I think it was the third one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like Katy Perry did Wide Awake as well.
You like
Who
that
did
one
it
better?
better?
I don't know. Probably Hit the Lights. Not big into Katy Perry, but some are. Okay, cool. Was that in order or just those are your top
Uh,
three?
that was just the top three. I
Okay.
don't know if I can narrow down further than that, but
Okay. No problem.
yeah.
It's challenging. Putting you on the spot. But we I think that we probably have our top three. Steve, you got your top three all sorted out there.
Oh yeah, I'm sorted. I had
Go.
this sorted. Number one was no sweat, and then I had to figure out two and three. But number three is the not really intro track, but the first real track, which was "Breathe In." That one, kind of my first real introduction into the band. Love that one. Number two is Newfound Glory's Bard guitar riff in Backbreaker. That one is fantastic. And number one, by far, hands down, not even a question, is Tell Me Where You Are. Anthemic chorus. I want to sing it right now loud, but my family is sleeping and I'm in the basement and I'm not going to wake them up, but not even close.
Wow. We don't overlap too much. And every time I see Drop the Girl, I think of the song from that Little Mermaid. What's that one called?
Kiss the Girl?
Kiss the Girl.
Yeah, that doesn't that sound like it could be the same song?
No.
What about the Breaking the Girl from Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Also quite different.
Mhm. All right, so my top three are number three is Say What You Want to Say. I was intrigued by that song. I liked the way it kind of brought me back into it after a couple songs that I really didn't love.
That's not the
And
one where you said that you had a headache, was it? And
it's
you had
not,
no
no, that
commentary?
was Wide Awake.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So say what you want to say was one that I got into for sure. It wasn't the top, but it was in the top three. That was number three. Number two was Don't Wait with Alex on it. I don't know. I just really like the way that song flowed, and definitely would add that to my playlist, but not the top. Number one's Backbreaker. I love the harder sound. I thought that it was a nice mix between the poppiness and a little bit different of a sound from what what they put together to that point in the album. So ultimately, again, the most entertaining one for me was Backbreaker, and I definitely would add that to one of my playlists, especially a beer pong playlist. Would I buy this album on vinyl? No, but
It's so good to look at though.
it probably is. It probably is. And don't talk me into buying vinyl when I don't need to buy it
You
because
should
it's not
do it
cheap.
now.
It's just not cheap.
You just go on Amazon and buy it right now.
You know what I did notice
They sell
though?
vinyl on Amazon.
When I finally get a chance to go downstairs and listen to albums that I buy, it is a different experience. It's a different experience, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you appreciate albums just a little bit more when you listen to them on vinyl that way. So just throw that out there.
I agree. 100% I agree.
Yeah.
You guys want to play a setlist game before we wrap up?
Sure.
All right, Stefan, setlist game. I'm going to tell you a Hit the Lights concert. It was December 5th of 2025, so not all that long ago. They played this set in Milwaukee. The set was 13 songs long. And what we're going to try and do is guess how many songs from this record did they play. And keep in mind, they have 4 full-length albums, and I think they have 4 or 5 EPs as well. So they have a good amount of actually, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 6 EPs and 4 full-length albums. So the question is, out of 13 songs, not the longest set list, how many did they play from Skip School, Start Fights?
5.
Chris, what do you think?
4.
Stefan hit the nail on the head. They played 5 songs exactly from this. You didn't look at setlist.fm before we got on here, did you?
Trust me, I did not.
All right, you're just good at this. All right, now we're going to see if you guys can pick out which songs they were. So you'll take turns. Stefan, you go first. Tell me one of those 5 songs that they played.
Well, Drop the Girl has to be one of
Drop
them
the
for
Girl.
sure.
Correct. Absolutely. Chris?
No. Yeah, I don't have the. Okay, so what about?
You have to read your own handwriting?
No, I have
Your
it here.
iPad died?
All right, I'll go with you guys. Do what you like. How about Hangs 'Em High?
Hangs 'em High was on there.
Look at
Stefan, you're
that.
back to you.
Statues.
No, that's your first strike. You get 3, and then you guys lose the game. Chris?
Breathe In.
Breathe In was the opener to the entire set list. Stefan?
Chris, what was the first one you said? I'm
Hangs 'Em High.
gonna say Cry Your Eyes Out.
Nope, that is the second X. Chris, it all comes down to you. So far, they have played Breathe In, Hangs 'em High, and Drop the Girl.
And we said no for Statues and no for
Cry Your Eyes Out.
Backbreaker.
That's the one you definitely should have got. So now it all comes down to you, Stefan. This is win or lose the game. All the easy ones have been chosen.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
What were the ones already done so far?
Breathe In, Hangs 'em High, Backbreaker, and Drop the Girl.
Stay Out.
Oh, you got it. All right.
Nice.
You guys won the game. You had 2 strikes against you, but you pulled it out.
Gold stars.
Yeah, out of 13
Sick.
songs, that's more than a third of their set list. So this must be a very big record for them. Again, they're going on tour. If you guys like Hit the Lights, go check it out. It looked like it was mostly kind of Northeast and East Coast United States, and they're touring coming up real soon, and they're doing their first album in its entirety. This is a stick up. Don't make it a murder.
Awesome, guys. Well, look, it was a blast talking about Hit the Lights. Skip school, start fights. Don't do that though. Definitely get along at school and definitely go there, right? Because we're very.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to High School Never Ends Pop Punk Dad Podcast. I'm Wingman Steve.
And I'm Chris183, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Forgotten Favorites February. I know I'm going to screw that up eventually, Steve. Too many Fs.
You did great.
Too many Fs, but it is Forgotten Favorites February. We're moving right along here. And, this month, we're basically talking about all of Punkish Dad's favorite things. That's right. He won the Jeopardy Tournament of Champions. He got to pick all of the things that we are talking about in February, and this one is something else. I'll tell you that much. It definitely is a favorite of Punkish Dad's, and the question is, will it be a favorite of ours too? I guess we will see. But before we get to any of that, I do want to introduce our guests. So we brought in a new voice to the show today, maybe not new to some of you guys out there, but from Gear 182, we have Stefan. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, guys, for having me. This is awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah, first time here. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I run with Brian and Sully a page called Gear 182, where we kind of go over everything gear related in the pop punk rock, alternative rock kind of community. Started more out in the Gear 182 space, and now we're kind of just branching off and having fun with it. So it's cool. Got to meet some pretty amazing people and learned a ton about gear that I never thought I would even remotely care about. But it's been an amazing time so far. So.
Well, we're going to lean on you when we talk about all the musical stuff, because Chris and I are not musicians. I see you got a really cool Blink Smiley guitar back there. That looks pretty. Actually, it looks like there's 2 of them. That is pretty sick. And actually, Chris, Sully from Gear 182, we played one of his songs before during one of our listening party episodes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we have. So we're friends of Gear 182 already.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Don't fault me, Stefan, for forgetting that. I forget things from yesterday, but We've had like hundreds and hundreds of like I just can't remember. So my
I
bad.
can imagine. I can honestly imagine how much that you guys have to listen to and remember.
Maybe thousands of episodes, Steve.
We don't always remember it. That's the thing. And we just pop on every week and we just start anew. And we're talking anew about a band that we have never, ever spoken about before. They're called Hit the Lights. The album we're talking about is called Skip School Start Fights. And Punkish Dad recommended this one for us. He had told us that his buddy D-Rock, who we talked to last week, pointed this band out to him. And these guys were kind of, part of the neon pop punk era, if you will. He said that the scene was in transition at the time, and as was the whole music industry, the way that we access music, and some good bands just kind of seem to get missed. He feels this one is full of good riffs and hooks. He hopes that we enjoy it. And Stefan, what do you know about Hit the Lights? Chris and I have never spoken about Hit the Lights before. This is going to be the first time.
Well, I mean, I listen not heavily, but I have listened to them quite a few